guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to share a little secret that I've been keeping for about 7 months now. Behind me is a 1994 Acura Legend GS sedan, 6-speed manual in Sherwood green over tan or ivory interior. So this car has a little bit of backstory that the reason why I haven't shared is because frankly I've been a little bit overwhelmed with projects. So when this car came into my life, it was via a YouTube comment actually. So a friend of mine from the Legend community had a comment somewhere midway through my 95 Legend Coupe restoration process where he said something to the effect of, "Do you want the sedan twin to your coupe?" And of course that piqued my interest, so I thought, sure, let's talk. So kind of fast forwarding a few weeks after that, I was in Southern California for the Radwood show at Honda headquarters in my other Legend sedan, the tan one, Desert Mist. And I went and looked at this car, ended up sealing a deal on it with the seller there and had it transported here to Phoenix. So I picked this thing up back in November 7th to be exact. And it's been sort of here marinating on the back burner for a lot of reasons ever since. So you have to keep in mind that all of these restoration projects take so much effort, not to mention the financial expense. So at that time, I had basically 3 cars thrown at me in the same window of time. I had my neighbor Susan reach out about the RSX after living next to her for 6 or 7 years. I had the TSX become available, which I had been asking my friend to sell me for 10 years. And then this thing popped up, which is kind of too good to pass up because the 6-speed manual 94, 95 Legend GS is a very rare breed nowadays. So anyway, I picked the car up kind of with the intent of just putzing around on it on the side. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the last 7 months. I have a checklist for this car through restoration process, just like with everything else that I've kind of cycled through the garage in the meantime. And I've actually been chipping away at it. As a matter of fact, I have over 150 video clips to weed through that I'll kind of prepare and release episodes as time permits. So I keep putting off releasing this first video, but it's finally time. As I'm telling you this right now, I've already taken the seats for upholstery, so this process is very much underway, and it's my duty to bring you up to speed. So also just kind of, this is a very nostalgia driven restoration, just like my other ones are. The first Legend I ever fell in love with was a green Gen 2 sedan. It was my mother's 93L automatic. It was around 1997 when she bought it. I was 15 or 16 years old, and it was the car that really ignited my love for specifically not just the Acura brand, but for this platform. And anybody who's followed my channel for any length of time knows that I love Acura Legends. I love all Acuras, but this is kind of the one that I keep, near and dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, this is a picture of the car that sort of started it all. That was Mom's car on 18-inch Nichi Bella wheels. This was very period correct, late 90s style. My mom was pretty rocking with that. Big old chrome wheels and chrome fender treatment there. But that car's long gone. We lost track of it something like 15 years ago. I think it was last seen in Boise. Interestingly enough, in part of a high-speed chase. It was pit maneuvered. Car's long gone. I had the chance to buy it back, but had no place to juggle multiple cars at that time. So anyway, that brings us to this one. This car is essentially going to get the same treatment that the LS Coupe got. So we're going full bore with it. The condition is not as bad. It's still a project, but it at least hasn't been parked for 3+ years. It runs and drives awesome. And so that, as a starting point, is already way beyond where I was with the Coupe. So with that, this video will consist of the very first footage I got of this, and stay tuned because I'll continue to weed through the footage and bring you along for the ride. And because I'm limited on space and resources, this does mean that along with adding a new project to the mix, some cars are going to get released from the fleet. So more to come on that. I'm still ironing out what stays and what goes, but it's always fun to drive and enjoy these cars. Every Acura has its own characteristics and personality. And part of my thing is, I've owned 47 cars. I like to dabble, I have my favorites clearly that I'll never let go of, but if I do have to sell a car, I like to always leave it better than I found it. And I like to think that that's something that future owners and enthusiasts will appreciate. So stay tuned for more on some changes in the fleet. And with that, enjoy this first video on the 94 Legend GS 6-speed. Check this out. This is a 94 GS 6-speed Sherwood Green Pearl, and it's about to get a full extreme makeover. This is Edgar's shop where I'm checking out the GS 6-speed that is probably heading, nice, this car is going to be heading to Arizona, and we're going to give it a whirl here. Yeah, there she goes. It's alive. Sounds good. Here's the car at idle. Even the AC works. Yeah, it's uncracked. Guys, check this out. I have a delivery pending. I'm gonna have to ask this guy if this is a 2-for-1 deal because I'll take the TL as well. Let's get this thing loaded off the trailer. First order of business is a new battery for this thing, so let's get this thing swapped in. First update is complete. It's actually not a brand new battery, I just pulled it out of another car, but we'll take the other prior unit and get a core credit and replace one of the other vehicles in the garage. Let's go for our first test drive. Actually, take that back. It's not my first test drive. I drove this car at its California home a couple weeks ago after the Radwood car show. So now it's my first drive here at home. Drives pretty well. First fuel up with 91 here in Phoenix. And then we'll get her back to the house and do a initial look around. This is a replacement 3.2 liter Type 2 V6 from a donor car. The odometer on the car is about 203,000, but this is a newer motor. Still working on some documentation to estimate the exact mileage on it, but it does run and drive great. It starts up on first command, and I think it's a good starting point as contrasted by the coupe, which was really struggling when I first got it about a year and a half ago. We are parked in Restoration Bay here. So this is where things will start to take shape with this car. It's gonna be a little bit till I get time to get started on it, but at least wanna begin to unpack the items. I know the previous owner, who is definitely watching this video, thanks Edgar very much for a smooth transaction. He sent a bunch of stuff with the car that I'll be going through in the trunk compartment, and then we can really dive in the coming weeks. I'm already loving all the treasures that I'm finding, so check this out. Opened the center console and found the factory phone. It wasn't connected, obviously, because this car, I don't think came with it, but it does have a lot of really cool OEM accessories like the fog lights, the Mooner visor, and the bra, a bunch of other cool stuff. So cool car to start with. Best part about this project is has not been street legal for 14 years. Yikes. We're gonna change all that. So we got some tray tables back here. These aren't Honda accessories, but they are really cool, kind of period correct JDM stuff. And we got a trunk full of goodies, lots and lots of goodies in here. Even got a pair of shades.